welcome at our special event, Kuldipsingh Breaking New Ground in Oil and Gas Industry. This is a special event of SPE Suriname section. SPE stands for Society of Petroleum Engineering. I am Erwin Dans, part of the board team of SPE Suriname, and I'm YP Chair, stands for Young Professional Chair, and I will be your Master of Ceremony today. So before we start, there are some safety rules. Rule number 1, please put your telephone on silent. Okay, that's not really a safety rule, but it's a house rule. Rule number 2 is that in the case of an emergency, we have 3 exits, but we're going to use 2. One on my left hand and one behind you. You will see 2 students, Gianni and Raisa, and they will having 2 reflector vests. We will follow them to the parking lot where we all collect. The restrooms are around the corridor, also on my left, and you will see the sign, men and women. Okay, the program for today, sorry that we started a little bit late. We were blessed from above, and some of the streets were very flooded. So I'm glad, and I thank you all that you made some time free, even if the weather was a little bit worse, that you came. So we will have the technical presentation by Mr. Sudesh Ramkelawan. After that, there will be opportunity to ask questions, please, after the presentation. And if there are no more questions, then we have our social hours with some light snacks and light drinks. For now, I want to invite Mr. Henk Chinaling. He is our chair from the Society of Petroleum Engineering Suriname chapter. Can I have applause?
Bio of wheat. The bio, I have to read it. Sudesh Ramkelawan, about Sudesh Ramkelawan, has been associated with leading companies in the upstream oil and gas industry for over 30 years. After his initial experience at Staatsolie, where he started as assistant geologist, and he worked himself up further to well site geologist. In 1994, he was the team lead of the EMP database that was set up with TNO Holland. This was completed successfully and launched as a PISM database in 1996. For the new generations here, when you guys are working with ProdView, the previous version of ProdView was a PISM. So WIT was the one who was working on that. In 1997, Sudesh joined Halliburton as an LNP engineer. Under his assignment, Sudesh posted several countries in the Western Hemisphere. He was trained and worked himself up, and when he came back to Suriname, he was the lead engineer in 2009. In 2013, WIT was approached by Surinamese businessmen to help develop and start a business in the oil and gas industry. He accepted the challenge and led to the establishment of Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services. Ladies and gentlemen, WIT.
All right, and thank you, Hank, and for the intro. I think we'll try to get further down, and I welcome you all, of course, and start as soon as Hank has taken so much time, and we don't want to stay that long over here, I guess. But anyhow, and I just wanna give you a head view of Kuldipsingh, how they had started up. From 1979, it started off as a hardware company, and along the line, you have seen they have diverged all the way, but they stayed in that building and mortar of a field until 2013. This was a different total line that was introduced. And before 2013, I should say, I had 3 brothers already working for Kuldipsingh, and everybody was asking me, when are you joining them? And I was always like, that will happen never, because I'm in a total different field. Surprise me, here I am. And it all started with Mr. Switering Kuldipsingh, the owner. And I got a call one morning, early morning. I was still sleeping, and my brother called me that Mr. Kuldipsingh requested to speak with you. I thought he did something wrong again in the company, and I have to come as an elder brother to see what happened. And the first thing he asked me, he told me that I'll keep it short. I want to get in oil and gas. I said, nice for you. You know what it is? He said, I don't know, but I want to head into oil and gas. And I looked at him and I said, well, there are so many things to do. What do you want to do? He said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you and I'm hiring you. And he's a very straightforward guy without trying with introduction and all. And I said, like, but do you know anything? He said, no. It was a Sunday and around lunchtime at that time. So I told him, listen, I'm going to introduce you to the oilfield. I made some calls and we went out Saramacca. It was a Saturday, a rainy day. And he gathered some of his managers. We went with one car and we headed into Saramacca. I made some calls and we went to the rigs. And as we went to the rigs, I asked them to take their PPE, and I took only a raincoat. I never told them anything. So they out there, I see them wetting, and I think, like, by the time we get back, he will not get into this line. We went in the car, I asked him, what do you think? He said, I like it. I said, what? He said, yeah, no, I feel like this is it. I said, let me go to the swamp. We're already in Saramacca, let's go. And it was around like 3 o'clock already. And I said, let's stop at a shop, get a little drink, we wet, and get the skin a little bit hot, and we will go further. At that time, I'm waiting to become a little bit later, because everybody who has worked in Saramacca knows at 6 o'clock, mosquitoes starts to come in. So I said, this was my next thing. And we went on the airboat, we made calls, we went into the swamp. It became 6 o'clock, 6:30, so those things started to come. And everybody mashed him out. The managers were weaker, so they could not bear it. But they can't say anything because the boss is there. And I'm just there, and I'm watching them. And I said, a lot of mosquitoes. They say, yeah, but what happened with you? Nothing wrong with you. I said, hey, I'm 20 years here. I'm immune. I don't feel. He never knew, of course, they had repellent stick, and I only use it for myself. I never gave it. I guess, guys, that's why you all had to beat those mosquitoes. But that's how he was introduced. And he was so much, he had the eager to get into this. And no matter what, even the mosquitoes that were full, because if it rains, a lot of mosquitoes comes up. He wanted to get into that field. So he had a desire to get into it. And it started like that. And of course, when I was requested, we saw there was a future. That time I was at Halliburton, you can understand that, you know, working as at that time I had left the expat value, I was here as a local. And this challenge came up. So you had to look, and at a certain point, I saw something that I could develop, and let me go through that challenge. And there was pusher. You can see we always believed, I've started off as a geologist, so a geologist is always optimistic in finding oil. And I also till now believe since 2013, we will hit. Sooner or later, just it's a matter of time. With a low risk now with the Guyana finds, it's even coming closer now. That in mind, I approved in joining Kuldipsingh. And at that time, of course, you had to hire people. I can't do the job alone. And the university here was mainly geared in mining. There's no petroleum and people coming out. And everybody who comes out of the university, they go to Staatsolie or Suralco at that time. I needed experienced people to start up. So I asked a few of the Staatsolie guys, I think around 3 of them, to come and join. I gave them individually, I will not call names, but I have asked them individually to come, and I had put the project for them. They were in different lines. We wanted to start, or I wanted to start in 3 different areas. And everybody was excited, all 3 of them. But the one answer I got back, like, you start, when it starts to run, we'll join. And I saw that I'm all alone for it. So we came, I did an assessment with the company, and I said, we need to do something else. And then I came as we're talking and driving to the field. We saw that area over there, and we said, like, listen, let's go and start a shore base. And we had already the equipments, and a branch already had boats and vessels. So I said, let we go, we'll set up a shore base. It was at that time, I think, 250 meters, Queenie? 120 meters, and that was the idea where we set it up. And we start to go out to see how it is outside. Kenrick was a good friend and still is a very good friend of mine, where I had told him the ideas and the way we are heading to. So he offered me to come and look at the Baroid. Kenrick was at that time the Baroid manager. And he told me, come and look at the port, and you can copycat and see what you can make out of that. So we started to setting this thing up. We started to do a lot of business development with the offshore companies. And all of a sudden, oil prices went down. And the guys in the oil field know what it is. Once oil field prices go down, all investments are locked up. So as we were, this was the situation at that time. And at that time, we had slurped a lot of money already. So I told them, hey, listen, this will go on for another 6 months to 9 months. There's no need to go with this. At the same time as we were building, we were looking for other options. And I told them, like, get me the money. I want to get into getting a drilling rig. And that's where he said, boss, whatever you want to do, you just name it. The money is yours to do. And I should say after that, I left the shore base and started developing and working on the rig. Vinod was appointed to complete the port. I guess guys from the near shore are seeing what it is. That's Vinod that has finished it up and is running the port as it is now at this picture with the specs down there. And I think he is expanding right now. And I got some additional land. And I think, how much are we going to go now, Vinod? 310 meters. So we can have 3 vessels set up next to each other, right? And a lot of storage room. He's buying a lot of land down there. So he's gearing up for the future as we speak. And as Vinod was completing afterwards, and he finished it off in 2015, was it? And I worked on the rig. The first rig we took was this rig. We're calling it Olaf. There is in Stadsoli, we started off with equipment naming at cartoons. So we'll see the rigs named after the cartoons as we went with that tradition along. And it was looking for a rig it's not just go and buy a rig. You need to know the environment. You need to know what you want. And seeing the situation of Stadsoli and the expenses they're making on location and for quick moving, we were looking at a very compact rig. And we wanted to be different than the rigs we already had in country. Because everybody had, at that time, the rotary rigs and with a lot of manhandling. And as I'm in the logging unit, I see these guys, little guys, the Japanese are a little small and they have to force themselves with all these elevators. And I'm just looking at them and say, oh my God, I can't get people working like this. So we wanted something geared in hydraulics, which was new, very challenging. And everybody, and actually, I cannot remember one person that said you're doing a right choice. Everyone was like, you're crazy. We took that challenge as we saw different benefits in it. And we wanted one with a top drive, with capabilities to go directional or horizontal. As we saw the situation, the environmental impact and further north at Statsoli field, where you will not be able to drain all the oil, but you can still go directional and extract it. And we saw in certain areas that to produce more, because that was one of the driving at Statsoli, we want more oil. How can we produce? Is if you drill vertical, the only thing to play with is height, and you can get that by going horizontal. So we wanted that mix with the rig, but still looking at a compact rig. And this was the choice we brought in first. And the next thing was personnel. I told you about what we were fighting with was personnel. I could not get people anywhere from school. So this was the biggest challenge I had. And I said, like, I'm not getting people from any company, because you had 2 companies already and that were drilling with probably 60 people. You could go and give them 5 guilders more to come and work for you. But I said, no, we want to be different with them. That was our main key. And working in the oil field is totally different. If you do not grow up in and you have worked at government office and you want to make money, you come, within a day you're gone again. You will say, I'll earn a lot less, but I ain't doing that work. You need to grow up in it. So I went and handpicked people myself, looking at their attitude and their willingness to learn. We went and did that. And we brought in consultants and mentors to teach them along. And as of now, my whole setup was to get only key personnel on my payroll, and everybody below that will be outsourced. We wanted, and my whole, or I shouldn't say my, KOS, whole fleet and everything that's not core-oriented is being sourced out. From logistics, setting up the mats and personnel on a lower level, and welders, you name mechanics, everything has been sourced out. Only the drillers, the supervisors, even the mud techs we started, Kenrick was the manager of Bayreuth, and that is one of the critical things to have. Your fluid is not good, you're in big trouble. And then starting off new, he told me, boy, this is the prices, it doesn't matter what it costs. Fluid is one of the most important things when you start. If you have a bad fluid control, you're looking for trouble. We'll see that after that, because we have had some kicks at start, so we'll fly off over that quickly too. And that's how we started off. And we started off with only 10 people, key people, where we invested. We started up new without a contract from start solely. We spent money, and we still had to apply as a young team to get a contract inside with no experience at all. And we did our own design and a lot of equipments. The ramp, you saw the rig on it, the mud pits, and some of the rig up equipment, all were also certified and used in that rig. You cannot come. The rig was certified also afterwards to get into gear. And then we started, as Hank had mentioned earlier, in 2014. And we started off with a workover program. That means well that were drilled already, not producing up to what it was before. You had to go clean up, reactivate the well, and produce them. And after that, we got some water wells. I think the first water well we drilled was at the refinery. The well is still producing water. We never got a call afterwards. We got also some 5 wells from the government at that time. And that was drilled also under the contract of Statsoli. And we did our first oil well in 2015, finally. That was it, and it's a marking point in our milestones. And unfortunately, we get a problem again. Prices start going down. Statsoli shut down the development drilling, and we were down for 9 months, and it picked up again 9 months later. And we went on the second rig to buy. Things started to evolve, and that was in 2017. 2 years later, we bought this rig. At a certain point, as we were with that rig, Statsoli started to get into serious discussions in going horizontal. We picked that up opportunity, and we went into this discussion. These were discussions with Schlumberger, Start Solely, and I just mixed in and I said, my rig can do it. And we started to get information from Schlumberger, what was required, what are the specs that a rig should be needed. And actually, without them knowing, they consulted us how the rig should look like. So I started to make the team. We had a young team, eager. I showed them what it was. And everybody on the net looking for rigs started to make calls until we got Shram, or we chose Shram to go off. And one of the major things why we took Shram was for the automated pipe loaders. It was safe. It had all the capabilities to go horizontal. And except for horizontal, I wanted a rig that can cover the whole land exploration. And until today, I still feel that Statsoli is doing not enough. I don't hope that this is a strong statement, not enough for exploration on land. I've seen they going over to lease the blocks now. But the block we have right now will be, we're not actually increasing our reserves. And it's for a few years already that the exploration campaign has been on a low pile. And thinking about that aggressiveness that Statsoli might have had, we went and chose for a bigger rig to cover the whole on the west as well, because the geologists know if the wester we go, the dip, the sediment package are a little bit deeper, and we wanted the rig to go at least to 10,000 feet and even cover. And the idea was also, if we cannot go in the marshy systems and where the mudslide and the low slope to near shore is muddy, we can still stay on the slope and go directional to get data into the sea. That was the idea to go for this rig. Not that heavy, but still to have different options to be ready for Statsoli in case they go that way. So that was the idea in choosing this rig, and this was the one we thought was best fitted for us. And for people that should know, because we have some non-technical people here, this is the idea about horizontal. You come in straight, once you get where the oil is, you go horizontal. And we had done, Kuldipsingh has done the first horizontal wells in Suriname. It's a milestone we're very proud of. We have been in highly engineering phases to have accomplished this together with Schlumberger and Statsoli directing all this work. And these wells were drilled successfully, and the completion part we had some issues, but for a long time people, a lot of big companies, multinationals, had said that this was not possible seeing the environment in Suriname. And we have proved them wrong. We did it. Statsoli is heading for a next campaign for the horizontal well within 1 or 2 months. And I think they want to start in October, so that will be the next phase. And we are experienced, and I think we haven't got it formally on paper yet, but we think, with the track record we have left behind and everything in place, we will participate in that project. This is an overview to tell you from what we have drilled in wells till today, 226 wells in total. And we have broken it up in workovers, 11 workovers. You could see that the workovers were in the beginning. After that, it was a little bit silent on workovers. And we had drilled some water wells in the first year. And the horizontals well was then in 2017 and 2018. Those are the red dots. And you could see in general, we drill about 80 wells a year. And in 2019, so far to date, we have 57 wells drilled. And we have still 5 months to go to complete that. In between, if we get the horizontal wells, and we'll see how that will impact the total amount. And apart from drilling, and this is the drilling part, we also see there's a need in improving on in an agreement with Payson. Payson is a company that is specialized in electronic drilling monitoring. And why we took Payson? Because there are different companies that are doing this. And we also investigated what Staatsolie is doing. And their main database right now is well fuel. So they want every data into well fuel. Well, Payson has integration with well fuel. That means every data we capture, we can read into your own database. And you don't need softwares in between. It has an interaction, and we saw another market also to enter in that. But our first priority was to get into the EDR system for our own benefit in improving efficiency. And by viewing everything live, you see the television in the back of you. That is right now a live view of a well that is being drilled right now. If you go closer and afterwards, you see the depth running. I think from this distance, I think they're coming out of hole. They have reached TD already, and they're pulling out pipes right now, if I see the dots. And this is live view. What we do with our engineers out office, we follow what's going on. And in critical processes, we have our people. Doesn't matter if it's in the night. We save time by driving and sending engineers in the night and maintain this out from the office or from home. We have it on our smartphones. We have it on our laptops. We have it on our iPads. So this is a generation where we went further down. And we have a drilling guidance where we upload how we want to drill the well. We put in a proposal how we want to go, and the drillers has to follow that. It's easy. You have the lines, whatever line has been uploaded, you follow, and this is improving efficiency and wellbore integrity. And the well view, I just spoke about that, the integration of all this data to have it easily for management purpose for Staatsolie's database. And this is a very quick overview that you can do a lot of analytics with these data. And you can put your workbench, and we're doing that for each process. We break it down and we check out the workbench. Any process that's taking more time than we have predicted needs to be evaluated, and I need a quality report for all this. And this has been processed by quality engineers on a daily basis. And that's why we're drilling that many wells in a safe manner and efficient manner. We get all our data all the way to the, people know who are in the field, when we have the supervisor, they mess up, they scratch and they write different reports how it should be. You cannot beat this system. We also have another service that we do, this mud logging, and it's also partnering with other companies where we do. And on a request of Staatsolie, especially on the appraisal wells, we have spent time. And you see, we train them guys. The old man down there is Mr. Professor Theo Wong, very highly, and people is at the university. He was the head of TNO one time in Delft. And I think, he should be retired. He's too old to still be active. But then he has a bag of knowledge which we utilize to upgrade our people. And this is a quick overview of our man hours. And we started off in 2015. Up to date, we have more than 700,000 man hours. And everybody wants to look at, of course, the safety performance. And you could see we have just one lost work case. And one of the main reasons having less incidents is because of the automation of the rig. You don't have finger cuts in or hand cuts in. And this was someone who fell from the truck. And by the way, it wasn't a Kuldipsingh equipment truck, it was our own. So don't feel offended, Shailesh. And one of our achievement, it is lucky, just today we have reached 1,000 days since the last lost work case. So another milestone today again. And This is one thing we're proud of, and we have Braken come in at and we sent off an article to Oilfield Technology, which was accepted and placed on a magazine. I guess most of, especially international guys, are getting the magazine on a monthly. This was the October edition, I think, last year in 2018, that had put Kuldipsingh on the international map in oil and gas. And we had this same motto going, breaking new grounds in Suriname. It's 5 years and we still want to go further down. And people who has left their emails, we can, if they're interested, we can send just this article, good article to read through. What next? You know, and the road ahead. And we've started with the shore base, we have downstream drilling. We had just called, is this it for Kuldipsingh? No. We're going further. We're partnering right now with Southern Chemicals. We're heading now to downstream. Actually, it's just probably next week, everything is set. I've just came off from this company. And we will be representing and getting into crude treatment. And something new. We are going to set up a blending plant over here. That means we will pick up raw material as what, because that was very critical for us. And as immersion is changing with every changes in the field and additional injection that's been done. So we wanted the lab and the blending treatment over here. And that was a key in the negotiations. And then we have, or the company Southern Chemicals had started the projects already in the Jersey area, which is successful. And we want to expand that further. We will go, we will have to compete with big boys, Nalco, Champion, MI, and but hell, the first ones we went and challenged the big boys there as well. And we feel confident, and we're heading into this product line as well. These are some future stuff we talk. This is data acquisition, and well, you've seen in my biodata, that's where I started off at Halliburton. It's still at my heart. I want to put in production logging. We'll leave the open hole logging and everything for the big boys, but I think we want to go low cost, and we are talking with a few people already. It's just in the preliminary phases. That's why you see it's 21. And but we're seeking further, and I think the next step in Start solely will be IOR, trying to see how to improve oil recovery. But to do the right thing and not just pick up what you get from experience in other countries, the right thing is to get data. And we're trying to fit in a good data acquisition where we can go see if there is depletion, if there is skin, if it is just restructuring of the formation. And we want to just go with production logging tools to find out at a very low cost. The spending unit, that's easy. It's not too highly skilled as it is. And it's only that we need resources, and we cannot do all our projects one after the other. We need some time to go, but this is also one of the dreams we want to do and pick up too. And we have not set up, but we have put it here that this is also our ambition to have that here. As you will see, we are trying to do what is being done by foreigners, by multinationals, and people abroad. We are not here to attack locals or business people who have or doing something already in the oil and gas. We leave that for them. We're here to bring and enforce that local content, whatever is being done by people outside. And this is a lease operator. We have been approached by one of the potential lease operator of the land blocks to work in a joint. And we have not started negotiations. It's just few preliminary talks. I will not go further down as this is very sensitive and the operator is still negotiating with Start Solely. So we will have it on a low profile, but we still want to keep the difference between a service company and being an operator. So maybe a different entity will be risen up as well. I am very interested in do this. It will bring a different approach to Kuldipsingh as an, you know, I don't know if I should reveal my ideas, but I think there will be a lot of depleted fields that will be left, because once we hit the find, the whole focus will be offshore. And this is a very nice small thing to get to learn lessons here and to teach young engineers and gear them up for the future to go and get the depleted fields in a we're talking about 5 to 10 years. I hope I'm still around to make that. And the next thing is nearshore. See, the nearshore people here are like, wow, you're heading down there. And yes, we have done, this is a firm statement, we have done a MOU already with the company. Just call them if I can refill their name today. They said it's fine. And we have an MOU with Swift Drilling. And this is one of the jackups, they have several jackups which will be suitable to do nearshore operation. We will participate in the services we are here already in with. And we have dropped the ball tonight. The nearshore team is here, that willing, and we are open to get into this field. And we have already signed a MOU, and it all depends on how the development in nearshore will follow up after this. I know we have set up 2020, and we have done 2 wells already. I think we're heading for the 3rd well. It depends on, of course, again, oil prices, the room to go further with the next step for exploration nearshore. But even though we are preparing ourselves to make this next step as well. And then this is a slide where we want to emphasize that, you know, we want to develop local content. I've seen it in the mining, and not too many people, although we are 100 years in the mining, not many or almost no company is in the mining sector. And the same thing with the oil and gas. I think Kuldipsingh is the only one now specific in specialized product lines. We want to develop that. We want to engage that asset, that human asset as well over here. And we're not ashamed to work with partners outside, because we want to bring that international technology over here to put them in. Everybody wants to go to Start Solely and soaking them over. We want to show that we have ambition. And of course, we also want to gain that trust from Start Solely to help develop the locals and help develop and come in as a partner with Kuldipsingh to further see how we can work together to enlarge this business in a partnership. And this is in a nutshell the milestones, and it's self-explanatory. We started in 2013, where we purchased the first rig in that same year. And as we see, we went all the way until the end of 2014, where we get our first contract. And this was a funny thing to get the first contract. Maybe I should tell you this story. And like when you go to a bidding, everybody should ask, how the hell is this guy? They don't have people, they don't have expertise, and they got the contract. Let me tell you, when I started 2013, I started telling everyone, the rig is coming. And I didn't know that even I will get a rig. And the word was spread out already. So we went to the procurement and told them that we're coming, the rig is sailing, So we get invited. I had no rig. So I make sure I put a high price. Boom, this was there. You will not get the job. So no, we didn't get it. in between, the rig came in at the end. I said, you saw the rig? They say, yeah. We get another contract. But you still had to do so many things to prepare. You know, it took me a year to design, to get every auxiliaries inside. I said, the rig here, I'm ready to drill. What you do? I said, another bit. It doesn't go like that. The bidding. I'm not ready. Put the high price again. Boom, boom. So the third one came as we start to finish off. The third bid came in. And I saw like within a month or two, I can get it. So we went sharp. And I lost it. So I was like, what the hell is going on? I did 3. And nobody will look at the 2 first bid. I went there. How are my prices? He said, everything good. You scored well in safety. You scored well in the... But experience is killing me. So I wrote a letter to the director. I said, what the hell? We invested. We have everything. Since 2013, I'm doing in bids. We have all this investment sitting, and I can't get work. Get me a trial. And that's where we got the trial. And we were ready, and we got that bid for the first time to get and prove ourselves. And in just 3 months, we picked up. In the beginning, we struggled a lot. We had very young engineers here. And all of them today, you know, we have a very matured staff, I should say. You could see that we have put in a lot of technology to assist them as well. And as of today, I can tell you, we have a very, very competent staff that is doing a very good job and is performing within the workbenches we have set. And this is where we end up. And when we have still another section, and we have a little film. I did not went to the processes. We have captured that in a 5-minute film. So we will go through all the processes in a nutshell. But before that, I want to ask you, Kenrick. Kenrick is a friend. I knew him from Bayreuth as a manager. And when I made this step to leave the company, Bayreuth was part of Halliburton. When I went over there and took this challenge, he encouraged me from the beginning and supported me throughout. And I could tell you, like, you know, through all the challenges I went, at a certain point, I told Kenrick what the shit I was landed in. You know, I was literally crying as I was going through. I said I was earning good money. I had it done. Why should I have picked this up? And I should tell you one thing too. I admire Mr. Kuldipsingh for trusting me in millions of dollars to start something. I never knew him before. He didn't know me, I guess. And but trusting so much money had put a lot of weight on my shoulders as well. And today, I want to thank him as well for giving me the opportunity and accomplish this as what it is. And we want to bring this over. But Kenrick had seen it from outside, how it had started. I would appreciate, Kenrick, if you can give the young lads, especially down there from the university, how it went on.
Me to say a few words. The only problem is he asked me to say something good. so it's going to be tough. So anyhow, I penned a few words because if I stood here without this, I would overtalk. So let me just go through the words I've penned here. So guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm honored to be an invitee here today. I was really surprised and honored when he called me. I was on my way back from Houston. I landed in Piaco Airport and jumped on an next-plane and came here. And I'm flattered by your kind words of my friend Sudesh. But I'll take all the kudos I get at this age. But I keep asking myself why I was given this honor to say something. I just keep asking that when he asked me that a few hours ago. And I started to question, is it because I was the one person he shared his vision 5 years ago for a fully owned and operated Surinamese drilling contractor, which he did. And we spoke about it. We spoke about the foreign contractors. We talked a lot. We went through the experience in Trinidad, where we went from multinational drilling contractors to locally developed drilling contractors, both onshore and offshore. So we had a lot of time to talk about that. I also asked myself, is it because he shared a vision for a company that will invest capital in both fixed and human assets, developing Surinamese nationals as a priority? And that he did. He spoke about that, developing Surinamese nationals and young ones. We spoke about that local content in the context of the experience and the value of experience. And those of us who old like me, we think we experience. But in those discussions and for the young folks, there is a lot of experience that is not needed, that is useless in us older guys. And he was going to focus on the relevant experience and develop. We spoke about the challenges of the older guys like myself on learning. It's a very difficult process. So we were brainstorming that. We spoke about that, and he was sourcing people. We were talking about that. So the whole human resource aspect was foremost in his mind. So I felt that is why he asked me to talk. Also, I felt he may have asked me because of the small contribution, Beroyd, whom I managed, the company I managed previously, that we contributed to the training and development. We had our people come in here, our subject matter experts, and worked with his people, and had ongoing training. But what I would like to think, and I think he mentioned these words, it comes down to the encouragement and support I gave him along this journey. I don't know if he was drinking when he called, but he was crying. He said, boy, this is pressure. So we had a lot of those talks. And it is very rewarding for me personally, and I'm sure for most of everybody, to see it come to fruition today in the name of a company that is well placed on the experience and learning curve for 5 years now in construction. And I use this word construction because Sudesh likes to differentiate himself. He's different. Kuldipsingh is a construction company. But I had never told him this. What he's doing is wellbore construction. He's constructing wellbores through which he can produce these reservoirs. So he is in line with the core business of the company in constructing wellbores. But just when I thought mission accomplished, he's got this drilling rig going. He is drilling efficiently. His records show it. I got a note a few weeks ago. And in essence, it says, Ken, what do you think about KOS getting into the production treating chemicals, which is what he presented here? I said, well, what can I say? Of course, it's a great fit to the portfolio. It's sustainable. You'll always be producing. You'll always be refining. Production treating chemicals is a great fit to the KOS portfolio. So the division, therefore, continues and is going to create more opportunities for chemists in this production treating chemicals. I used to manage a company that had that before. Technicians, operators, and other skill sets over the long term. This is going to be sustainable employment over the long term in a product line like this. So join me in congratulating Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services for the sustainable opportunities created with the investment in its national asset base and human capital development. And I say this in terms of the asset base because when that equipment and those assets were imported, they really don't belong to the country, but the asset base of a national local oil company or oil drilling contractor, those assets, those drilling rigs in effect belongs to the country in the big picture. So that is significant and it will contribute to sustainable development. And the human capital development is a big piece, and I've seen a lot of that. I'm really pleased to know Sudesh as a friend and to be associated with his company. So thank you and congratulations.
Have you enjoyed the presentation? So, on behalf of the Kuldipsingh Group and the Society of Petroleum Engineers, I would like to thank each and every one of you that took their time to attend this informative day. I would also like to thank the organization of the Kuldipsingh Group and SPA. I am not going to call names because there are too many people that support it, but you guys know who you are. From the Kuldipsingh Group, I would like to thank Mr. Wheat, Mr. Sudesh Ramkilawan, for sharing his knowledge and experience with us. Can we give him one last round of applause? From SPA, I would like to thank Mr. Hank Chinelli for organizing this event. Can we also give him an applause? So, unfortunately, all good things come to an end. So, I want to end this night. Thank you, everyone.
Als we praten over Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services, denk ik dat dat helemaal nieuw zal klinken in de oren bij de Surinaamse gemeenschap. Kunt u wat uitleggen over Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services?
Ja, het is allemaal in 2013 gestart en ik ben binnen het bedrijf aangetrokken omdat de aandeelhouders wilden diversifiëren en in de olie- en gasindustrie wilden binnenstappen. En toen kwam ik binnen om daar vorm aan te geven. En 6 jaar verder houdt Kuldipsingh Oilfield Service zich voornamelijk bezig met het boren van putten bij staatsolie en overwegend op land.
En waar worden nu de werkzaamheden uitgevoerd?
Overwegend in Saramacca en op het staatsolieterrein en daarbuiten in de directe omgeving in het district Saramacca.
Succesverhalen?
Nou, we hebben heel wat milestones tot nu toe bereikt. En we hebben op een gegeven moment, los van de eerste richt die we hebben binnengebracht met een topdrive, dat een beetje uniek was in Suriname. Overwegend werden er mechanische richts binnengebracht. En een tweede punt dat merkbaar is ook een boormachine die veel meer capaciteiten heeft en voornamelijk uitgerust is om horizontaal te boren. We hebben meegedaan in een project en dat was heel prestigieus waarbij wij 4 horizontale putten succesvol hebben geboord met de bedoeling om de productie te verhogen en iets anders te proberen om meer footage te maken in de oliezanden. Dat hebben we samen gedaan met de multinational Schlumberger. En daarnaast hebben wij een artikel uitgeschreven dat geplaatst is in een gezaghebbende internationale maandblad in de olie- en gasindustrie. Het enigste Surinaams bedrijf dat dat heeft bereikt. En het zijn een paar van de grote milestones die wij heel erg koesteren. Ja.
Maar is diversificatie de enige reden of de reden geweest dat Kuldipsingh ook deze richting is opgegaan?
Nee, er zijn voldoende motieven. Je moet weten dat olie en gas heel dominant is en een vitale rol speelt in de economie. Niet alleen in Suriname, maar over de hele wereld. En het gaat voor lange tijd nog heel dominant zijn. Dus er is een grote behoefte om je verder te verrijken. Wij van Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services zijn ervan overtuigd dat de voorraden er zijn in dit land. Die moeten nog alleen geëxploreerd en benut worden. En het wordt nu wat hectischer, vooral met de vondsten in Guyana. Dus 5 jaar terug hadden we die belief al en het komt alleen maar dichterbij in zicht. We prepareren ons ook voor de toekomst waarbij wij allianties aangaan met buitenlandse multinationals om samen met hun onze diensten uit te breiden. En dat zijn een paar van de belangrijke motieven waarom we die richting op zijn gegaan. Ja.
En alles met lokaal kader?
Klopt, wij hebben 100% lokaal kader. In het begin was het heel moeilijk. Je begrijpt dat iedereen die al een werk heeft en bij de opstart heb je ervaren personeel nodig. De meeste mensen zitten dan bij staatsolie en die willen niet bij een bedrijf gaan die pas opkomt. Dus dat was heel moeilijk in het prille begin. We hebben toen een lokale jongens zelf uitgezocht op de universiteiten en op het NATIN. Die hebben we dan opgeleid, zowel lokaal hier als in het buitenland, flink geïnvesteerd. En vandaag de dag plukken we de vruchten ervan af.
Hoeveel man bij Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services?
Wij hebben totaal in de operatie rond 120 man. Wij hebben ook een strategie waarbij wij onze core jongens een vaste dienst hebben. Die zijn op de payroll van KOS. En dat is om en bij 35% van het geheel. En de site-diensten, de logistiek, de welding, het prepareren van de locatie, het trekken van buizen en de lokale helpers die eigenlijk op een lager niveau zitten. Dat is om en bij 65% wordt dan direct dan indirect uitbesteed. We proberen met de core en ons precies alleen met core business bezig te houden. En alles dat daar buiten valt proberen we uit te besteden. We investeren ook in de mensen die de diensten verlenen, omdat zij dan ook op het niveau van ons opgetrokken moeten worden. En wij doen vrijblijvende opleidingen voor hun om ze op dat niveau te brengen dat gewenst is bij KOS.
Veel olieboormachines.
Wij hebben op dit moment 2. Beide hebben een pulling capacity. Dus, en dat betekent hoe diep kan je gaan. Die varieert van 6000 tot 9000 voet.
En u sprak over, met name, u legde de nadruk dat voorlopig nog op land. Dus, maar denken jullie ook nog offshore?
Dat klopt. Wij hebben nu al allianties gesloten met buitenlandse bedrijven die offshore platforms hebben. Ik ben 3 maanden terug nog weg geweest om alvast een preliminary MOU op te tekenen. Omdat de offshore activiteiten van Staatszuid, met name in het nearshore gebied, nu op gang zijn. En aan de hand van de bevindingen zal Staatsschuld op het punt komen om te kijken als zij verder gaan of niet. En dat hangt allemaal af van de vondsten en hun exploratieprogramma. En het is altijd goed om anderen te zien werken, zodat je daarvan een feeling en een goed gevoel van overhoudt. Dat gevoel hebben wij al en we prepareren ons nu voor de next phase om dan ready te zijn, om dan die bid aan te gaan met een partner die zich content voelt met wat wij tot nu toe hebben bereikt.
Waarin liggen de uitdagingen voor Kuldipsingh Oilfield Services?
En daarom, je moet begrijpen dat de oilfield een tak, een scala aan diensten heeft. En, het zijn meestal de multinationals die eigenlijk die diensten herbergen. En wij van oilfield zijn ook eigenlijk ook gericht om met name de grote jongens aan te pakken. De lokale bedrijven, wij doen geen diensten waarbij lokale jongens al bezig zijn. We gaan eigenlijk echt op gang om de multinationals te pakken. Om zodoende dat geld dat wordt weggebracht, dat we het in huis hebben. Voordat wij met de boormachines kwamen, had je ook nog 2 Trinidadiaanse bedrijven die dat deden. Wij hebben gecompete en vandaag aan de dag kunnen we zeggen dat wij zeker 60% van de market share hebben. En dat wij goed op gang zijn met een behoorlijke workbench die wij gezet hebben om een goede performance neer te leggen.
Ik ben operations coördinator aan de zijde van Staatsolie. Mijn taak is voornamelijk om de activiteiten van Kuldipsingh drilling operation in goede banen te leiden. Het is namelijk een 24/7 operation. Dat houdt in dat je day-to-day het zaakje moet monitoren om vervolgens ervoor te zorgen dat alles effectief, efficiënt en veilig verloopt.
Dus waarop let u dan onder andere?
Onder andere, we letten op de manier hoe de processen procedureel worden toegepast. Er zijn namelijk procedures die moeten worden opgevolgd om te geraken tot een productieput. En dit moeten we day-to-day elke dag gaan monitoren.
En wat zijn uw bevindingen tot nu toe?
Nou, vanaf het begin, dat is in 2014, ben ik betrokken geweest als coördinator bij de drilling operation van KOS tot heden. En mijn ervaring met hun is dat zij gedurende de periode heel grote groei hebben doorgemaakt. Voornamelijk omdat er 100% lokaal personeel aanwezig is en dat ons aangeeft dat wij Surinamers dus dit werk ook heel prima kunnen doen. Het is een heel succesvolle bedrijf tot nu toe in de korte periode. En het is een hele goede samenwerking met hen tot nu toe.
En aan wie rapporteert u uw bevindingen?
Ik heb in mijn hiërarchie namelijk een afdelingshoofd intern en vervolgens naar de manager toe. Dat is de rapportagevorm.
Ja. En achter u zien we Rig Gijs. Hoe werkt dat allemaal?
Het is namelijk een ingewikkelde proces die bijkansief wat 8 dagen in beslag neemt. In grote lijnen houdt dat in dat jij een gat in het grond maakt, kijkt wat het olie voorkomt, middels verbuizingen het zaakje stevig vastmaakt en dan de productie ter hand neemt. Dat is simpelweg uitgelegd, maar dit gebeurt allemaal 8 tot 9 dagen en een nogal ingewikkelde proces. Heel veel technische aspecten die bij komen kijken. Kortom, ingewikkeld, maar heel interessant.
En het is een Surinaams bedrijf. Valt het juist daarmee dan makkelijk te werken?
In principe, van waar ik uit ben, zijn wij ook een Surinaams bedrijf. We hebben, of tenminste, ik heb ook contractors gehad vanuit het buitenland. Het is een heel andere cultuur die ze op nahouden en de werkwijze is ook anders. Ik denk dat het veel beter afgaat wanneer wij dus met onze eigen mensen zaken doen. Het gaat voornamelijk om de kwaliteit die ze leveren en waar wij ook naar allemaal uitstreven. En als dat zo is, dan is het wel prettig werken met Surinamers. Ja.
Ja. En wat ziet u als de directe voordelen?
Nou, de directe voordelen hiervan is dat wij, wanneer er productie wordt geleverd, dat kan je gewoon gaan linken aan wat financiën. En die blijft voor het land behouden. Alles daaromheen, mensen die aan het werk zijn, gezinnen die daardoor worden verzorgd. Kortom, het is zo dat alle financiën die daarmee gepaard gaat, dat in het land blijft.
En u zei het al, het plaatje lijkt misschien simpel, maar er is heel veel werk.
Inderdaad, er is helemaal correct. Het is 7 dagen tot 8 dagen, 24/7 based. En nogal fysiek hard werken. Ja. Dat klopt. Op de boortoren is het voornamelijk fysiek werk. Ja.
SPE staat voor de Society of Petroleum Engineers.
En hoe lang bestaan jullie eraan?
Okay, wij bestaan er vanaf 5 februari 2010. We zijn een organisatie bestaande uit ongeveer 95 professionele members en ongeveer 71 studenten.
En hoe werken jullie?
Hoe werken wij?
Gaan jullie te werk?
Oké, het is namelijk zo dat de core business van SPE is eigenlijk kennisafwisseling als het gaat om dus exploratie, development en het produceren van koolwaterstoffen. Verder creëren we kansen voor onze leden om bijvoorbeeld als het gaat om competenties, als het gaat om soft skills, om dat eigenlijk te ontwikkelen, zodat we in deze sector professional kunnen zijn. Dus dat doen we door middel van distinguished lecturers. Dat zijn eigenlijk technische papers die geschreven worden door onze leden en die uiteindelijk worden gepresenteerd in verschillende landen. Dus zo ook komen er in Suriname een aantal van deze mensen die dus zo'n paper hebben geschreven, om zo'n technische paper eigenlijk te presenteren voor onze leden, waardoor we in deze sector eigenlijk meer kennis op kunnen dragen.
En de relatie SPE en Kuldipsingh?
Oké, Kuldipsingh is deel van SPE. SPE, dus Society of Petroleum Engineering, omdat dus Kuldipsingh ook in de oliesector is gestapt, hebben zij zich ook aangesloten bij SPE. Dat is de relatie. Dus zij zijn lid van SPE.
Ja. En hoe staan jullie zo verder bij?
Om eigenlijk te praten over waarom we deze presentatie dus laatst hadden, is meer. Kuldipsingh is dus in de olie-industrie gestapt vanaf 2014. En voor ons was het eigenlijk een kans om onze leden eigenlijk kennis te laten maken met hun. En ook de studenten vooral. Omdat Kuldipsingh is begonnen met een een boormachine. En zoals we allemaal weten staat het proces van eigenlijk olie winnen om eigenlijk die olie te gaan vinden. Dus het is voor ons heel erg mooi als onze studenten eigenlijk bij de boor kunnen starten, zodat ze eigenlijk bij de bron starten. Dus het was meer ook een hele goede kennismaking.
En ik begrijp, het was de eerste keer dat namens jullie een local lecturer dat mocht doen.
Ja, dat klopt. Het was de eerste keer en we zijn er trots op.
En waarom voor lokaal gekozen?
Omdat Kuldipsingh dus nu de enige lokale bedrijf is die dus olie boort. Eigenlijk naast staatsolie. Maar als een andere onderneming.
Ik ben de student liaison en ik ben eigenlijk de tussenschakel tussen het hoofdbestuur en de studenten. Dus wanneer we bezig zijn met planning, bijvoorbeeld het jaarprogramma opstellen, moet ik ervoor zorgen dat wanneer wij in het hoofdbestuur SPE Suriname onze events uitplannen, dat we ook een gedeelte besteden aan de studenten en aan hun ontwikkeling. Want uiteindelijk willen we dat namelijk doen met SPE. Ja.
En wat is de bijdrage of wat doet de president student chapter?
De president van Student Chapter zorgt natuurlijk ervoor dat alles wat binnen de Student Chapter gebeurt, dat het natuurlijk zo goed als mogelijk gebeurt. Dat ik erop toezie dat het goed gebeurt. En ook nog alle jaarplanningen en alle evenementen wat wij willen doen, projecten. Wat betreft de studenten, bij de betrokkenheid van de studenten. Dat alles dan door de Student Chapter geschiet. En natuurlijk dat ik dan terugkoppel met het hoofdbestuur via Amelia natuurlijk.
Leermoment en of leermomenten?
Tijdens het project waren er niet heel veel leermomenten. Merendeels omdat we heel veel ondersteuning hebben gehad vanuit de Kuldipsing's kant. Dus voor ons was het meer de mensen bij elkaar halen om het event bij te wonen.
Voor u?
Dus voor de studenten, wat ik tot nu toe als feedback heb gehad, is dat zij het heel goed vonden. Wat dat betreft is dat zij het voor het eerst eigenlijk zo'n goede conference room hebben gezien. Bij Kuldipsingh natuurlijk. Dus dat was een goede toegevoegde waarde voor de studenten om zo'n evenement bij te wonen.
Waartoe draagt het bij jullie verdere ontwikkeling?
Ik denk dat het heel belangrijk is om te zien dat Kuldipsingh zo'n groot initiatief heeft genomen om een oil service company op te zetten. Wij studenten hebben vaak genoeg extra push nodig om te geloven in onze dromen. En dat heeft Kuldipsingh bij deze gedaan. Dus zeker is het een heel grote inspiratie voor onze studenten. En ook om te zien dat er ook andere bedrijven zijn binnen Suriname, behalve staatsolie bijvoorbeeld, die ook in de olieindustrie zitten.
Wat ook nog de toegevoegde waarde is in dit geval, is dat de studenten ook hebben gezien, dat wat we hebben gezien van de manager, van de heer Witram Kelawan, dat hij er een droom in zich had om zoiets te hebben in Suriname en dat hij er alles op heeft gezet. Dus als je een droom hebt, kan het dat sowieso gebeuren. En dat heeft natuurlijk een hele goede positiviteit gecreëerd binnen de studenten. Dus dat is een hele goede voorbeeld voor hen.
Maar dat studenten zo'n platform krijgen, wat betekent dat voor hun?
SPE-platform bedoelt u? Nou, het brengt ze in ieder geval een stapje dichterbij bij de professionals. Je hebt je stem en nu kan je jezelf eigenlijk verkopen. Je ontmoet heel wat mensen met zoveel jaren ervaring in de industrie. Je kan alleen maar van ze leren. En dat is zeker heel belangrijk dat zij zo'n platform hebben om te leren van de professionals.
Ja, en helemaal los van het feit dat ze ook leren, is dat zij ook de mogelijkheid krijgen om hunzelf te bewijzen in het buitenland. En dit is een van de organisaties als Student Chapter dat wij ook de mogelijkheid krijgen. Dus dit jaar en vorig jaar hebben wij meegedaan aan een competitie. En waarbij je dan internationaal jezelf kan bewijzen als student. En dat is natuurlijk een hele goede mogelijkheid dat Suriname natuurlijk dat krijgt binnen het Caribisch gebied en Latijns-Amerika-regio.
Nou, ik was een van de genodigden en voor de presentatie van meneer Ramkelawan. En er zijn heel veel dingen die me zijn opgevallen tijdens de presentatie. En één is bijvoorbeeld dat het een 100% Kuldipsingh, een 100% Surinaams bedrijf is. Wat de directie betreft, maar ook de werknemers. En daar kan je als Surinamer alleen maar trots op zijn. En dat ze durf hebben om te competeren met de buitenlandse bedrijven. En het voordeel is dat we geen vlucht hebben van valuta naar het buitenland. Alles wat verdiend wordt weer geïnvesteerd in Suriname. En dus daar ben ik echt wel trots op. Verder heeft meneer Wiet zijn carrière gestart bij Staatsolie. En heeft hij eigenlijk de leuze meegenomen van geloof in eigen kunnen. Dus hij kijkt naar hij is trots op Suriname. Kijkt naar de jonge Surinaamse academici. Hij heeft contacten met de universiteit al. En goede ervaring met de geowetenschappen. En voor zijn toekomstplannen vooral heeft hij gedacht om verder te kijken naar andere studierichtingen. En zo wat chemie, waar ik het hoofd van ben, kan betekenen voor het bedrijf. Dus vandaar dat ik een van de genodigden was.
En de directe voordelen voor uw studenten dus?
Ja, dat ze hun kennis kunnen ten dienste stellen van het bedrijf, om het bedrijf ook tot grotere hoogte te brengen, want dat is eigenlijk de bedoeling. Het is een Surinaams bedrijf, dus je moet daarbij helpen. En ze worden geaccommodeerd door het bedrijf en worden ook gewaardeerd, want dat is het ook van, dat je met Surinaamse academici wil werken om het bedrijf vooruit te brengen en tot grotere hoogte te brengen. Dus dat is toch wel prettig om dat te kunnen. En chemie is een jonge studierichting, maar we kunnen wel een bijdrage leveren. Ik ben ervan overtuigd, want een van de toekomstplannen is bijvoorbeeld dat hij wil gaan werken met chemicaliën. Dus het bedrijf heeft ook innovatie voor ogen. Dat moet je ook. Als je dus wil competeren met het buitenland, moet je de innovatie niet uit de weg gaan. En dan gaan ze chemicaliën gebruiken. En die chemicaliën, als je zegt chemicaliën, dan denk je direct aan chemie. Bij een van de onderdelen van het proces.
Good day all. With this video we would like to introduce KOS drilling, operated by 100% local content. We wish you a pleasant viewing and hope you enjoy it. Thank you.